Flutter Productions, a member of the Black Hills Works family, proudly presents The Chair Is Not Me, a collection of poems written to inspire people to think about, learn from, and connect to people who are diversely abled, written by J.J. James Janice and illustrated by a cadre of diversely abled artists.
It's a can-do project.
A can-do project.
Everybody who's gonna be working on it is gonna have some sort of a disability. This is their chance, so they're gonna work extra hard, because if I know anything about people with disabilities, all they need is a chance. It's the culmination of a lifelong dream.
James Janice, or as he is known by his friends, JJ, grew up between the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and Rapid City in South Dakota. Born with cerebral palsy, complicated with several other conditions, doctors told his parents he wouldn't live beyond 12 hours. And if he did, he wouldn't have the ability to walk or talk, and he'd need assistance for everyday care and feeding, and he wouldn't be able to attend school. But 60 years later, he is still here. Even though his life has been a series of hospitals, clinics, doctor's offices, boarding schools, nursing homes, and training centers, he still likes to say that he beat those doctors in his own special way. While in high school, thanks to a creative writing teacher, he discovered his love of poetry and always dreamed of becoming a writer. In the 1980s, he published his first poem, entitled Paperwork, which was proudly hung in the office of the governor of South Dakota. In 2015, after a 30-year hiatus from writing, JJ joined Flutter Productions as a performer, and through Flutter, he was also able to begin writing and performing his poems and short stories from his life on the stage. In 2017, he partnered with Flutter Productions and published the book he always dreamed about, complete with illustrations by a cadre of diversely abled artists, entitled The Chair Is Not Me. It began with a list of topics that JJ had always wanted to expand upon. Working with a typist, projector, and a projection screen, he could see what he said being typed before his very eyes. After 5 months of telling stories from his childhood, free writing, brainstorming, researching, and exploring different poetry forms, he had completed 21 poems and would go on to partner with 10 artists who would illustrate several of his pieces.
Well, I envisioned the book, but I never knew where the illustrations would come from. Real satisfying. Like they could read what I was thinking, like a book. It's stunning.
Stunning.
It's mind-boggling because I did envision pictures, but I thought they'd come close to getting what I meant, but I never thought they would come as close as they have.
Brian Burst is an artist who enjoys drawing agricultural and mechanical subjects like cars, trucks, and especially semi-trucks. He was the perfect partner for JJ's package poem. JJ's Labels poem was drawn by Darlene, jealous of him, and this particular poem has taken up a special residency in the performance company at Flutter Productions and has been staged many times.
Good label, bad label. Even label, weren't we all created the same?
Maker put any of us to shame? Labels started by ignorant people who didn't really know. Somehow, those people were allowed to create the flow. Oh. It is people of power that make them go.
People don't know what they really say. People don't know what they really do. Labels stick to us like ugly tattoos.
Labels hastily applied due to others' frustration and confusion inside. A label for me, a label for you. All these labels make me blue. What would you do if all these labels got put all over you? Labels, labels, and more labels. What am I going to do? Some only look at my labels and think, what can you do for me? I can tell you, I can set your imagination free. Instead, all these labels have covered windows and clouded views. Why? Oh, why does society create these things? They've undermined us and tied us in strings. Labels here, labels there. Labels, labels everywhere. What am I going to do? How do I get free of these labels that society put on me? Well, you take them off and please set me free.
Lee Firecloud was the artist that illustrated the Paperwork poem. He is a perfectionist who will spend weeks meticulously working on the details in his paintings, in which he often displays a sense of humor. Lee came in with a variety of ideas, everything from Uncle Sam behind a sea of paperwork to the planets floating through an ocean of paperwork, and in the end, he landed on a combination of the two. Barbara Heggie. She started working with stencils, but she soon moved on to creating her own designs. Her artwork is always like these delightful little intricate maze of shapes and colors that is often full of little tiny surprises. She was the perfect match for JJ's walking pharmacy poem. Did we do it? We did it.
Everyone who takes a lot of pharmaceuticals will love this. That's absolutely. It should be given to every doctor's office and handed out at Walmart with every prescription. It's really it's true. It's so darn true.
Sheila Long. Sheila is responsible for several poems in the book, not only Flag Bearer, but also The First Taste of Freedom and the foreground of The Chair Is Not Me.
There you go.
When a piece is finished, how do you feel about what you've accomplished?
Amazed at myself. Yeah. And it just kind of amazes myself sometimes because it's like, holy cow, I did that.
He was trying to do the Lone Ranger. You know how you said when you had the wagon, sometimes you guys were like the Lone Ranger?
Yes.
He was trying to do the shadow of the horse with the wagon.
Yeah, and it looks like it too. You know, Hoke said something yesterday before he left. He said, "See you, partner." And that's what I feel about everybody who did the artwork on this. They're my partners.
John Summers was the perfect illustrator for Mr. Krabby Pants. John has been a full-time artist with the Susie Kappa Art Center Studio and Gallery since 2009. His uniquely expressive and colorful figures focus primarily on the face. He loves to work with acrylic, watercolors, and markers, and did the perfect face for Mr. Krabby Pants.
Make me laugh. Got my book done.
Christine Nielsen, she recently rediscovered her love of art through taking theatrical design classes at Flutter Productions and used oil pastels to bring life to JJ's release poem. Sean Stratton loves to create abstract artwork in acrylic. He adds layers that reveal the process and time involved in each piece and was responsible for doing the background of the title poem, The Chair Is Not Me, and subsequently the cover of the book, working with artist Sheila Long. What beautiful metaphor did you just make?
Well, I likened myself to a blooming flower. And that means that I don't wake up fast, but I wake up slowly. Slowly as we get into the flow of the writing. Then I wake up some and wake up a little more and wake up a little more, and I'm totally unequivocally awake when I leave this room. But when I first come in, it's like my aunt said something. She says some plants have to be woken up. And sometimes you have to talk to them. Well, I'm that plant. And I wake up. But waking up means I get more knowledge, more flavor to my poetry, and really a lot more things.
Sapphire Simmons went on to illustrate JJ's Moonflower poem. Sapphire works at the Susie Kappa Art Center, studio, and galleries, and she loves working with colored pencils, weaving, and painting, and she loves learning about different styles of art.
Incomplete. Take one.
I am beyond great.
Because you got your poem turned into a song.
I'm up there even higher. I'm not in the chair. And today, truly the chair is not me.
Aaron Flack enjoys painting with watercolor or acrylic. His subject matter traditionally tends to focus on entertaining animals and trains, but he decided to try his hand at illustrating JJ's radio poem. Several poems that JJ has written have gone on to be staged in Flutter's touring production of Able, the Disability Chronicles, including Radio, Release, Labels, The Chair Is Not Me, and Big JJ, Little JJ have all made the leap from the page to the stage.
He doesn't solve problems. His solution is to cry. He's a fine person, but he was abused. No wonder he acts like he does, all confused.
While audiences in the state of South Dakota have been exposed to JJ's poems through various performances, in 2018, one of his poems, Advocates, was shared at a national level. In 2017, JJ presented his Advocates poem at the very first meeting of the Black Hills A-Team chapter. A national A-Team representative was on hand, and JJ was invited to record and share his poem through the National A-Team USA website.
Hi, my name is JJ James Janice, and I'm representing the South Dakota A-Team. And I wrote a poem entitled Advocates. Advocates, start your engines. A, ask, even if you think you shouldn't. D, defend those who cannot speak. B, vocalize needs and wants. O, organize with an open mind. C, calmly reply. A, advise wisely. T, teach tolerance and compassion. E, empathize. S, speak with sincerity. Go, advocates, go! It's also hard work, but it's satisfying because it let me know that I could have done something useful and prevalent to today. And I'm very happy with the way it has turned out because it is my own thoughts and words, and I I just, I just don't, I'm still, as I sit here today and look at this book cover, I am absolutely far and away stunned by what's happened. But it just shows you what perseverance would do. This is, I feel like I'm on a launch pad, and we're just about to launch.
Over 100 people came to the book signing. We talk about all the time. Following a successful book release and reading, a local frame shop reached out to JJ and offered to frame the original illustrations in his book and to assist with assembling a touring art show to enable JJ and the artists that illustrated his poems to share their ideas and talents in a different medium with yet another audience. In 2019, the first art show opened at the Doll Art Center in Rapid City, and in 2020, it was hosted by both Dakota State University and the University of South Dakota.
It changed it for the better, because I know when I come in here, there's something to do, and it's not just doing it to do it, it's something of substance. There will be something happening at the end of the days. Hopefully they'll get a better understanding of people with diverse abilities, and they won't have to be afraid of coming up to a person and actually having a conversation. And I would hope that once this book is published, that there are chances for a better understanding, and that we with diverse abilities finally fit in. I hope to have a better and deeper understanding between I and the public, so that nobody else down the line is looked upon as as disabled or that they can't do anything. My goal is to empower people to understand that they, with diverse abilities, to understand that they have a voice too. All they have to do is find what they do and use that voice. But we did it. I did it. I did it.
It's really exciting, isn't it?
Yes. Like I blasted off into space.
You have.
Even though I stayed here, and I'm not here.
I know.
I'm above the stratosphere.
The Chair Is Not Me has been made possible in part by framing provided by the Perfect Hanging Gallery and by a major grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities, exploring the human endeavor. For more information on Flutter Productions, visit us at flutterproductions.com.